Global energy demand is growing rapidly. Approximately 22% of demand for oil came from the United States in 2010, and in 2010 Canada was the largest supplier of crude oil to the United States. With scarce energy resources running up against robust demand growth from countries like China and India, there is now a growing emphasis on increasing production of oil, including natural bitumen from oil sands. Today, Canada holds extensive oil reserves, including oil sands, and the country currently ranks third in the world in terms of oil reserves. Sunshine Oil Sands was incorporated in Alberta, Canada in 2007. It is the largest holder of non-partnered oil sands leases in the Athabasca Oil Sands region, which is located in northern Alberta, the most prolific oil sands region in the province. Since inception, the company has focused on exploration, development, and production of its oil sands leases, which total over 460,000 hectares, or approximately 7% of all granted oil sands leases in the Athabasca region. Excluding shared formations, which account for less than 1% of all leases, Sunshine Oil Sands owns a 100% stake in its oil sands leases. Sunshine operates in 7 principal operating regions located at West Ells, Thickwood, Legend Lake, Harper, Muskwa, Gopher, and Portage. Oil sands leases are grouped into 3 main asset categories: conventional heavy oil, thermoclastics, and carbonates. Conventional heavy oil assets are currently in pre-production stage. Since September 2010, conventional heavy oil has been produced at the Muskwa property. Our thermoclastics assets will be developed primarily using commercially proven steam-assisted gravity drainage production, also called SAGD technology. West Ells, our first thermoclastics project, is currently in the construction stage and expected to enter the initial production stage in the second quarter of 2013. And carbonates, which are long-term assets, are in the exploration stage. Sunshine's assets are located adjacent to quality oil sands properties held by large international oil and gas companies. Sunshine's Clastics oil sands properties have reservoir characteristics similar to several successful oil sands projects in the Athabasca region. As of November 30th, 2011, the company's pre-tax PV 10% value of proved and probable reserves and best estimate contingent resources was approximately 5.67 billion Canadian dollars. The company's reserves and resources have been independently evaluated and consists of approximately 45.4 billion barrels of best estimate petroleum initially in place. Reserves and resources consist of approximately 3.1 billion barrels best estimate contingent resources with a pre-tax PV 10% value of 4.8 billion Canadian dollars. Approximately 419 million barrels of proved and probable reserves with a pre-tax PV 10% value of 829 million Canadian dollars. Oil sands are composed primarily of sand, clay, bitumen, and water. Sunshine Oil Sands intends to deploy SAGD technology to achieve its large-scale production objectives. With the use of SAGD technology, the company is able to adopt a modular growth plan, which allows for the efficient management of project timing and cost pressures. Sunshine Oil Sands management team has over 150 years of cumulative experience in the oil sands industry, with a proven track record of creating significant value in managing large oil sands and energy projects. Sunshine has already achieved significant milestones and transitioned to an accelerated focus on operations. Key achievements include entering into a non-binding memorandum of understanding for strategic cooperation with Sinopec International Petroleum Exploration and Production Corporation, approval and execution of the Harper Carbonate pilot project, securing of conventional production permits and commencement of production of conventional heavy oil at Muskwa, and submission of 3 SAGD commercial production applications at West Ells, Thickwood, and Legend Lake. The approval by the Energy Resources Conservation Board of the West Ells 10,000 barrels per day commercial application was received on January 26, 2012. Sunshine Oil Sands has financial strength and flexibility. As of September 30, 2011, Sunshine had raised more than 450 million Canadian dollars in equity proceeds. These proceeds include funds from Chinese strategic investors, China Life Insurance Overseas Company Limited, Bank of China Group Investment Limited, Orient International Resources Group Limited, and Cross Strait Common Development Fund Company Limited. Looking ahead, Sunshine is on target to expand its production base through existing applications and envisions potential production of 200,000 barrels per day by 2024. Sunshine's other clastic and carbonate holdings offer potential to materially increase our contingent resource base and ultimately our production capacity. Sunshine Oil Sands aspires to become a top-performing oil sands company with a primary focus to increase shareholder value through responsible development and production of our Clastics oil sands properties. Sunshine Oil Sands, lighting the way to new oil sands development.